It's Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. Thanks for tuning in. A lot to talk about today. No surprise. I want to get right into this. No surprise. We got a 25 basis point cut by the Fed. There was a chance, there was some speculation that we would see 50 basis points, but we saw only 25. And in my opinion, they should have really raised rates 25 to 50 basis points, not cut these rates. I think Jerome Powell is feeling the pressure by this administration. He's going to cave, and now it's a matter of how much he caves. Article today, Jerome Powell's Fed enters nightmare territory. Let me be very, very upfront with you. This rate cut today did absolutely nothing for you. It did nothing for the middle class, did nothing for the poor. It helped Wall Street out a little bit, but it's not going to make your credit card payments go down. It's not going to make your car payments go down. This isn't going to have really any influence on mortgages. In fact, the 10-year bond yield actually ticked up today. And so we'll see if this continues. If it does, mortgage rates are going to continue to climb. They've been down for a while, but that could change. You never know how markets are going to react to a rate cut. They can do the total opposite of what you think they're going to do. And so 10-year bond yields up today. We'll see what it does tomorrow. But one thing we know, at some point, the Fed is going to cave. They're going to cut faster, and they're going to make bigger rate cuts at some point. Now, what causes that? I don't know. It could be the labor market, could be something in the stock market, could be the housing market. Something will trigger that they accelerate these cuts and that the cuts become bigger. And when they do this, and I don't know if this is this year, next year, tomorrow, who knows? But when they do this, this is when the genie is let out of the bottle. This is when you're going to begin to see real crazy inflation in America. This is when investors lose confidence, and this is when all hell breaks loose. Now, a couple takeaways today with the Fed. A couple notes here. Of course, no surprise, 25 basis point cut. Two more cuts this year. We will see one cut in 26 and another in 27, and no cuts in 2028. That is what they're saying right now. They're trying to take the Fed funds rate down to around 3%. Today, markets, Dow Jones up over 250, S&P, NASDAQ down. So markets seemed a little confused by what's going on. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. And it doesn't really matter because these markets are so manipulated, so controlled. Metals down today, gold and silver down. As I make the video, gold has turned green. It's up a little bit over $8. I don't think this is going to last very long. I think you're going to see an explosive run with gold and silver. This is pretty typical. You'll see the gold and silver market kind of sit back for a day, kind of digest everything that the Fed does, and then all of a sudden go on a tear. And I think this is what is about to happen. Jerome Powell characterized the cut as risk management. Very interesting. So what are your thoughts? Most of you, I think, were anticipating 25 basis points. Some said that he wouldn't cut. Some said 50. It's 25 basis points. Is this going to change your life whatsoever? Is this going to make your life any better? No. In fact, if you're a saver, the savings rate just went down today. So you will not be rewarded. You will be punished. I seriously do believe that they needed to raise rates, but they're not going to do that anytime soon. There was a comment that I was reading today. There are only 3 ways out of this debt spiral. 1, collapse. And by the way, this is the best one. The only way out of this, and I've said this many times, is the system has to collapse. 2, hyperinflation it away, then collapse. 3, all-out global war and reset with whatever remains. I'll take number 1. I think number 1, you got to let the markets just collapse and start over. As I said, the Fed should be raising rates. The stock market, somebody commented that the Fed should be raising rates. Stock market overheated, cuts not needed. I agree 100%. And this is the most overheated stock market we have ever seen in the history of the United States of America. The hedge today, U.S. housing starts and building permits plunged in August. Housing starts tumbled 8.5% month over month. Building permits plunged 3.7% month over month. The South saw the biggest hit. Housing starts down 21% in the southern part of the United States. Now, reading this, I don't see how we have a good economy. I don't see how things are going so well, because I think housing is a huge barometer to the economy. And this to me is just another canary in the coal mine, and it is reminding you and I that things are much worse than we are being told. Here's another canary in the coal mine. Blue City's largest mall, now 93% vacant as value plunges $1 billion over the past decade. This, the high-end mall, the San Francisco Center Mall, they have postponed the auction of this mall 8 times. It is now set for September 1st to go up for auction. This is just another example of extend and pretend, and it is another example of what happens when you have massive crime and you don't do anything about it. You have sky-high rents and you have a plunging economy. This is what happens. And this is really, really a shame, because I've never been to this mall, but it looked beautiful. You have some very, very high-end stores, luxury stores at this mall. And it isn't Amazon. It isn't e-commerce that put this mall out of business. It's crime, it's the economy, and it's sky-high rents. And these stores just could no longer afford to do this. So very, very interesting. This is just unbelievable, though, that the mall is now worth $1 billion less than what it was worth in 2016. This another reminder of just how overheated the commercial real estate market was. Now it is the commercial real estate apocalypse. And we're going to see this in the stock market at some point when you begin to see it crumble, and you'll see stocks, 80% off, 90% off. And people will be like, I can't believe this. How can you not believe it? Commercial real estate was so overheated, stock market so overheated, housing so overheated. We're going to see this take place in the housing market, in the stock market, because it's all overheated. And it's going to be no shock to the people who actually know what's going on. The value plunged 25% in just the past year alone. This is 1.4 million square feet of real estate. It's nearly 100% vacant right now. What do you do with a 1.4 million square foot vacant mall? What is it really worth at this point? We are watching American cities just absolutely die. They're just dying off. The malls, the shopping centers, the cities, it's all just dying right before our very eyes. It's really shocking how people just can't admit this. They just cannot swallow the truth. It blows me away how many people live in a bubble and cannot face reality. I don't know how you can fix problems when you don't admit that there are problems. And these problems didn't just start in the last 8 or 9 months, or the last year, or the last 2 years. This has been going on for many, many years. We could go all the way back to 2008. That's a good starting point to where all this really started, and it didn't get fixed. This is what happens when you just throw money at something, not knowing where the money's going, and you create more inflation, and you create these artificial markets that are dependent and addicted to cheap money. And when that cheap money tightens up and there's no cheap money, then these economies, these cities, all these illusions just die. Here's another one. This on CNBC. Sales of heavy-duty trucks are falling like the U.S. is headed for a recession. It's amazing how now all of a sudden we're hearing the truth. A couple years ago, when all this was going on, everything was fine. We were just told everything was fine. A year ago, everything was fine. Now we're heading into a recession. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be very, very clear. We have been in a recession for over 2 years, easily. Many will probably argue many, many more years than 2 years, but let's just say 2.5 years. Now all of a sudden, the media is coming out saying we're heading into a recession. Let me be clear. When they admit that we're in recession, we're going to be in a full-blown depression. We've been in recession for many years, and this economy is not getting better. It's getting worse. and we're taking in more tax revenue, and we are spending more money. More money is going out than coming in, even with all the tariffs, with record-breaking tax revenue. We are still running a $2 trillion deficit. More money going out than coming in. So no matter what we do, no matter what we cut, no matter how much we raise taxes, the system will continue to outspend. And I don't see how you can fix anything when the system continues to spend more than what is coming in. So just to sum up the day today, and I'm just kind of getting caught up with all this, was pretty busy this morning. 25 basis point rate cut. We expected it. No big deal. It's going to change absolutely nothing. All it's going to do is heat up a little bit more inflation. The metals market will figure this out very, very quickly. You're going to see metal prices continue to spike up. If you do not have any metals, you need some metals, go to my link down below, SD Bullion. For some reason, there's 2 or 3 people that really despise me shouting out SD Bullion, so I'm going to shout them out again today. My good friend Aaron at Texas Silver, check out his channel. He made a very hefty silver purchase from SD Bullion yesterday, even though the market was pulling back last night and today. He knows that that's going to be a great investment. So he made a nice purchase from SD Bullion last night. Take advantage of these pullbacks when they happen, because they don't seem to be lasting very long. At some point, very, very soon, the metals market will realize that more inflation's coming. In fact, they caused more inflation today, and the metals are going to continue to go up even more. And just as we speak about this, gold and silver were down today. Gold has actually turned up about $9 as I make this video. Double Lines Jeffrey Gunlack believes holding a 25% position in gold is not excessive. This is on CNBC today. You have billionaires now. You have Ray Dalio, Jeffrey Gunlack, and many other people now telling you that, hey, maybe it's not a bad idea to be holding some gold. And he's saying that 25% is not excessive. Egan von Grers was saying that, 50% isn't excessive. I mean, really, where else do you put your money right now? You're in an overheated real estate market, an overheated stock market. I would be running away from bonds. Where else do you go? Me personally, I'm going to stick with gold, silver. I'm going to continue to put a little bit of cash away, even though it is losing purchasing power, but you still need to have some cash. But gold and silver, I think, have a very, very bright future for the next coming years, not months, not weeks, years. I think that these 2 undervalued assets, the most undervalued and most liquid assets on planet Earth, are going to absolutely amaze you with what they're going to do. And why do I say that? Because the rest of the world is going to make sure that they do. The global central banks are going to make sure that they do. They're buying more. China, Russia, India, you, me, we're all going to continue to buy this stuff because there's really nothing else to buy. We have got to protect our wealth. If you need help, SD Bullion, link down below. Buy it from wherever you want to buy it from. Don't listen to the haters. They don't want you to own gold or silver. The banks don't want you to own gold and silver. They want you in the markets. They want you to put all your money in their banks. So when they shut down, you can't get to it. You're very, very controllable at that point when you have no money. Remember, gold and silver, extremely liquid, recognized anywhere in the world. You can convert it to any currency in the world. And there are still people that say you can't eat it. I have not met a farmer who told me he would not take gold or silver for meat, for chicken, eggs, milk, veggies, fruits. So don't believe that hysteria or that hype. Well, you can't eat your gold and silver. Well, of course you can. Just take it to a farmer, and he's going to give me meat or chicken, eggs. He's going to feed me. Of course you can eat gold and silver. It's very liquid. It's convertible to currencies and barterable items like food. It's a good idea to have some of this stuff. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm sharing with you what I'm doing, what people close to me are doing. And I noticed that some people are asking, why am I really pushing gold and silver now? Well, I've been talking about it for 8 years. Most of you have been watching this channel for the last year, the last month, the last 8 years. You know that I've always talked about gold and silver, and I'm going to talk about it more and more because it is now at all-time highs. It is now more important that you own it because of what is happening. And if you've been watching the dollar, ask these idiots, these ignorant people, should you be owning dollars? Is this what we should be owning, more dollars, or should we be owning more ounces? Why would I want to own more of something that's devaluing versus something that is protecting wealth? So why am I talking about it so much? Because it is more important now today than it was yesterday, than it was a week ago, than it was a month ago, a year ago, or 8 years ago. It is more important now to be talking about this because this is an asset, a tool that you're going to need to survive economically and financially. I'm going to leave it there today. Before I do, let me take a quick look here. Look who just came out. Let's take a look at the big boy here. He grows every day. So another great investment right here, another asset to protect the gold, the silver, the family. Look at this moose right here. Is he getting big? Look at those feet. Look at those paws. Look at that. He has just been a really good boy. And hopefully you're going to see a lot more of him doing some really, really great things. We love him to death. He loves Mimi. He loves Nugget. He loves us. He's a good boy. Man, is he getting big. And I'll tell you, he eats a lot of food too. Look at the size of this guy. So I'm going to let him get back in the house. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless. Take care. Talk to all of you very, very soon.